Molly skipped alongside her mother, her little red boots echoing on the cobblestone streets. It was market day, and the air buzzed with excitement. Colorful stalls overflowed with fresh produce, fragrant spices, and beautiful fabrics. Mesmerized by the sights and sounds, Molly held her mother's hand tight, her eyes wide with wonder. They reached Mr. McGregor's bakery, its aroma a warm invitation. Molly loved their sugar-dusted donuts, her mouth watering in anticipation. "Mama, can we buy donuts today?" she asked, her voice bubbling with excitement. Her mother smiled, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Not today, dear. We need to save for your new school shoes, remember?" Molly pouted, her gaze lingering on the tempting display of pastries. She knew her shoes were getting old, but the allure of the sweet treat was hard to resist. As they walked on, Molly's mind drifted, weaving a world where she had enough money to buy all the donuts she desired. Lost in her thoughts, Molly imagined winning a prize, a big bag overflowing with gold coins. She would buy all of Mr. McGregor's donuts and eat them all by herself. The thought made her giddy, her heart soaring with the joy of imagined sweetness. She could almost taste the sugary goodness, her senses filled with the imagined delight. "Molly, come along now," her mother's voice broke through her daydream. Startled, Molly hurried after her mother, her mind still caught in the web of her delicious fantasy. She was so engrossed in her imaginary riches that she almost bumped into a passerby. "Be careful, Molly," her mother cautioned, her voice laced with concern. Molly mumbled an apology, her cheeks flushed pink. Yet the daydream lingered, the allure of the imagined donuts too strong to resist. She continued to walk, her steps lagging, her mind replaying the scenes of her fantastical fortune. Each imagined bite of the sugary treat fueled her desire, pushing aside the reality of her empty pockets. They finished their shopping, her mother's basket filled with vegetables and fruits. Molly, however, felt a pang of disappointment. Her imaginary fortune had not magically appeared, leaving her craving for the donut unsatisfied. Her heart, earlier light with joyous anticipation, felt heavy with the weight of unfulfilled desires. As they passed by Mr. McGregor's bakery again, the aroma of freshly baked treats wafted through the air, a tempting reminder of her imagined feast. She looked up at her mother, her eyes pleading for a last-minute change of heart. But her mother, reading the silent plea in her daughter's eyes, shook her head gently. "We talked about this, Molly," she said, her voice firm yet kind. Molly sighed, realizing the reality of her situation. Her imaginary bag of gold was just that, imaginary. She had spent her day lost in a world of make-believe, forgetting the simple truth her mother always emphasized. To earn something, one had to work for it. Disappointment settled in her heart, a bitter aftertaste lingering in her mouth. On their way home, they passed old Mrs. Willowbrook tending her garden. Mrs. Willowbrook, known for her wisdom and kind heart, always had a story to share. Molly's mother, noticing her daughter's downcast eyes, stopped to chat with the elderly lady. They talked about the market, the weather, and the changing seasons. As they spoke, Molly sat on a weathered bench, watching the butterflies flit amongst Mrs. Willowbrook's blooming roses. Mrs. Willowbrook, her eyes twinkling with knowing amusement, offered Molly a warm, freshly baked cookie. "A little treat for a big girl," she said, her voice raspy with age. Molly gratefully accepted the cookie, the simple act of kindness warming her. As she savored the sweet treat, Mrs. Willowbrook, with a gentle smile, shared a story about a little bird who dreamt of owning the sky but forgot to build a nest. The story, though simple, resonated deeply with Molly. She realized that she, like the little bird, had been so busy dreaming of rewards that she had forgotten about the work required. The empty feeling in her stomach wasn't just about the donut. It was about the lesson learned. "It's all right to dream, Molly," her mother said, her hand resting gently on her shoulder. "But we must also work towards making those dreams a reality." Molly nodded, her heart lighter now, the disappointment replaced with a newfound understanding. She realized that true satisfaction came not from dreaming about rewards, but from working hard and earning them. From that day on, Molly carried Mrs. Willowbrook's story in her heart. It served as a constant reminder that while dreaming was essential, it was equally important to build a strong foundation for those dreams. She learned that the true sweetness of life lay not in fantasizing about future gains, but in savoring the journey and working hard to achieve her goals.